How's it gaming, guys? I'm PhilInTheBlanks, and welcome to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. For those who follow my channel kind of a little bit in real time, you'll probably be wondering, why are you doing the first case again, Phil? You've already played through all of Phoenix Wright. And the reason for that, if you're new to the channel, is that I had taped the first case, but it was way back before this came out for console. It was only on the DS. And I had emulated it and done the case that way, and it was terrible. There were frame rate issues, and the resolution was terrible. I didn't know what I was doing back then. And for a while, I've wanted to redo it anyways. So if you are tuning in for the first time, basically just this is the first case of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Pretend I didn't do it for the DS, and then when we're finished this, you can go on to the second case, and I'll have a playlist. Blah blah blah. Anyways, let's get into this. This is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, a visual novel lawyer game, which is very, very different. And yeah, let's go into episode 1, the first Turnabout. It's a fairly small case. It's about an hour long, so I think this will be 3 episodes or something like that. But yeah, welcome. This is a super fun series, and I really, really enjoy it. This will be fun to play the first chapter again. Gasp, like more like I assume more like a huff puff, like a breathing kind of noise. Ooh, God, that poor woman dropped her ketchup. Damn it! Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. It's got an evil voice. It's very evil for just a regular looking guy. I'll probably redo jokes that I did the first time I played through this game for you guys, but like I don't remember what the jokes were, so that's a mistake. It's not by design. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Phew, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over! My life! Everything! It's all over! Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death! Despair! Oh! I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna die! It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick! Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty! Tell them I'm guilty! Give me the death sentence, I ain't afraid to die! What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished! Finished! I can't live in a world without her, I can't! Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Aw, Nick, you gotta tell me who took my baby away! The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspaper says it was you. Wow, a lot of explaining to do, please, here, Phoenix. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My controller batteries are low. My best friend since grade school. If they go out, I'll just cut to me getting some batteries, but we'll be fine for a little while. I haven't had to replace the batteries on my Xbox One controller in a long time. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. Dude, you guys are 23. You haven't known him since you were born. So yeah, at any time you can go to the court record, RB, it's the right button on the Xbox, but it's usually the shoulder button. You can see your evidence. Right now I got the attorney's badge and Cindy's autopsy report, and you can see profiles of the characters, like Mia Fey, who is my boss, Larry Butts, who has a shit-eating grin, who is also the defendant, I'm defending him, and Cindy Stone, who was the murder victim. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. It's just he just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do. So yeah, it's, like I said, it's a visual novel, except it does have puzzle elements, because you do have, like I said, evidence and profiles and whatnot you have to present at specific parts of a trial. This is the tutorial trial, so it's going to go very easily. It's very not difficult. And in later cases, there's investigation chapters where you actually get to walk around and kind of figure things out. So this is just the trial. So, court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecutor is ready, Your Honor. I don't know why I always feel like he should be voiced by Wallace Shawn. That will always be my thing with this character. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Gulp. Hands shaking. Eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. And, I mean, that's to teach you, like, are you paying attention, first of all? Have you checked your court record? Let's pretend I don't know. So, me. The defendant is me, right? Right. Have you completely lost your mind? Focus. The defendant is the person on trial. You're his lawyer. Huh? Oh, yeah, right. This is no laughing matter. You did pass the bar, didn't you? Sorry, I couldn't hear your answer. I'll ask once more. I love that like canonically the judge doesn't know you're an idiot. So the defense is Larry Butts. Like it says right here, the defendant in this case, a likable guy who has been my friend since grade school. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? I do like this because you can pick up that it's Larry just by reading. Just not even go to court record. But no one's told you the victim's name yet. So you're like, uh-oh. Phew, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover so many times. It's... Wait. Uh-oh. No way, I forgot! I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press the right bumper to check it at any time. Tutorial mode! Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? Mia Fey? Cinderblock. Cindy Stone. I love Cinderblock. That's such a funny thing. Cindy Stone. I kind of want to know what happens if I say Mia, though. Mia Fey? What? How can I be the victim? Oh, right. Sorry. It was the first name that popped in my head, and... The court record button. Remember to use it when you're in a pinch with the right bumper. Oh, yeah, it's a bumper. It's a button, Xbox. Why do you call it a bumper? Let me ask that once again. Mr. Wright was the victim. It's Cindy Stone. So, if you do answer things incorrectly, normally you do take damage. There's a life bar. Right now, it's a tutorial, kind of part of the tutorial case, so you can't take damage yet. You can't fail. So feel free to just have a good time and just do the wrong thing just to get silly lines. But later on when the game starts, I'll kind of mention it when you can start taking damage and whatnot. So, the victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was, and now we can go back to the court record. We can go Cindy's autopsy report, time of death, July 31st, 4 p.m. to from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma. So, hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. There's one more question. Who killed her? You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then, first, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? So this is, I don't think he's on the thing yet. Yeah, there he is. Winston Payne, which is a great pun. Winston Payne is usually your tutorial prosecutor who is really bad at his job. He also has a cousin, I think, named Gaspin Payne, something like that. That's really funny. Generally bad at getting his points across. I love him. He's such a great character. Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. And every time you get this screen, you get evidence. And you can, so you see it's a statue in the shape of the Thinker. It's rather heavy. And at any time, you can, you can go into your court record and see the new evidence. So you really want to pay attention. Like she's saying right there, be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use the right bumper to check the court record frequently. So now the game's actually going to start. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. I don't know if you met Larry Butts, he seems like a unfortunate type of guy. Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. So usually the first step of a case is usually the testimony. Usually not by the defendant, but yeah, it's a tutorial. Ahem! Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy! We were great together! We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony! Didn't they all die? Well, yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago, Phoenix. But I mean, I know the joke was that they all died tragically together or whatever. I wasn't dumped! She just wasn't taking my phone calls. Or seeing me. Ever. What's it to you anyway? Larry is a character who pops up a lot in this series, and he's a very colorful character. Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. I should know. I've been dumped quite frequently, I might add. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies! All of it lies! I don't believe a word of it! Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on July 30th, the day before the murder. Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way! The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several, sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude! We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. That is not important to the case, Payne. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right. I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. This is actually something that doesn't appear very often in the game. You think stuff like objecting during this type of stuff, like, he shouldn't have to answer that, and that's, that's defaming the witness, I don't know, stuff like that. That doesn't really happen a lot in the game, so it's kind of cool in the game that kind of starts off with that. So it doesn't matter if you wait and see what happens or stop from answering at this point. You'll usually have a life bar at the top right there that'll show up if you can take damage during a question like this. But let's stop him from answering. I want to be smart about it. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Oof, wince. So good job, I guess. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Larry, you are unhinged, buddy. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh, come on, Judge. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Gulp. Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You're so disagreeable. Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? Stop him from answering or have him answer honestly? We'd rather have him answer honestly. Again, not that I don't think it matters at this point, but I know, I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. That's... You don't know ASL very good there, Phoenix. Yeah, I was there. I went. Order! Well, Mr. Butts. Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so, like, I didn't see her. Oh, jeez, your objection is so high-pitched and annoying. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body, just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand. Also, you'll notice that this game loves its pun names. Hello, Frank Sawit. I know it's Sawit, technically, but he saw it. He saw it, so... Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh, yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Just for fun, I watched the first episode of the anime in English just to see what kind of voice they gave him, like, canonically. It's just a normal-ass voice, and I'm kind of disappointed, but I guess I'll give him a somewhat normal... He's a little weaselly, but... So this is the testimony, so... I was going door to door, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember in the DS version that looked like a Wii remote. It certainly doesn't look like that now that we're playing this in HD. So they kind of like have... I don't know if they redrew the art or is just that's how the original artwork looked like, but it's clearly a phone, so... I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. So a lot of information to take in there. That's actually a fairly long testimony for this game. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? Kind of did, I guess. I can't defend you against a testimony like that, you think? It's pretty full of holes there, bud. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Electricity to Miss Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. So that works out. So we know he's not lying about that. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes. Yes, Your Honor? You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? All right, Wright. This is it. The real deal. So, yeah, the game's actually telling you right there. Now the game is really starting. What am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lie in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What, he was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with the right bumper, then point out the contradictions in the testimony. So here we go. Here's kind of the playable part of it, the cross-examination. You can go back and forth between everything that Frank said, and you do two things. You can press, which gets you more information. You don't really need to do it at this point, but let's do it once. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. So I want to press him on this. I want more information about that specific statement. You see my life bars up there now. Isn't a man leaving an apartment a common sight? I find it odd you would take notice of him. I don't know. He just seemed... Oh, wait, that's Frank saw it. I don't know. He just seemed strange to me, that's all. Like he was mad and yet frightened at the same time. Just like a criminal fleeing the scene of a crime. The defense requests the witness refrain from conjecture. Of course. What the witness means is that the man he saw looked suspicious. So, what happened next? So, we got some information that he seems a little weaselly, and you can do that with every single thing here. We're not going to be doing that as we play the game because there's so much flavor text, and sometimes I wonder if something's silly or I honestly don't know. But we know right here, if you're paying attention at all, that he remembers the time exactly, and it was 1 p.m. But we know for a fact that the cause of death was the time of death was 4 to 5. So we know he's lying. So let's present that. Objection! And if the music stops, genuinely that means that you did the right thing and your life bar goes away and you don't suffer any damage or anything. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Oh, well, he's already taking damage there. I like how a lot of the witnesses and stuff, they'll have animations when they're getting nervous or when they're admitting to the murder, because like we know he murdered her, so we saw it before. The first trial of the game usually kind of shows you it because it is the tutorial. So, This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sawit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? And there we go, moved on to like, I was calling it the next level, you know, you're progressing the story here. The time of discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I think we already see the problem there. That's very, very obvious. I just finished recording the last case of this game. So, and that case gets really difficult with the specificities. This is like a cakewalk. So, you know, if you're not going to be doing well in this one, you're going to have a hard time through the game. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. And this one, again, is fairly obvious. How, Mr. Frank Sawit, could she be watching TV if there was electrical blackout? And obviously, so you want to pick which statement you want to present stuff. Here, I think there's a couple that you probably, like, I probably could have done this on this. Any that's referencing something that would require power. The television is the best one, though, so I'm just going to use that one. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. Dude, you suck at this, Frank. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Gah! The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Alright, level 3. Hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. I'm Frank Sawit, actually. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. And that one's a very weird one. You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. Yeah, even Phoenix, I think, in-game canonically understands why this is... What? The murder weapon. The killer used it... Well, the murder weapon wasn't a clock, you dummy. It was a statue. Like, how easy is this game, right? Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? What is this, a statue for ants? You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it, and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? 99% of the time, if you get a question like this, yes. I don't think you'll take damage because specifically there's no life bar at the top, but yes, there is a problem with that. How the hell would he know it was a clock? Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it! Prove I went in there! I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. Damn, Phoenix. First day on the job, you reach a little much there. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court! Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. This is like one of my soap operas that I watch. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, the cornered music is so good. Usually it takes a lot longer for you to get to this stage of the case where, like, you're accusing someone and the music's getting your heart racing. Oh, man, it's awesome. Mr. Solid, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Nigga, gra. He's trying to speak Klingon. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? Did you murder him? Tell me, please. That day, I never... Look, the clock? I heard... No, I mean, I saw... Ugh! Wow. Oh, no, his hair! No, Feast is not happy. Shut up! I hate you! Hey, it was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn. Burn! Give him death! Oh my god, Frank, no. You are very bloodthirsty. He goes around hitting people with clocks. Order! Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright. Your Honor, you claim the sound of the witness... Oh, sorry. You claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I'd better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound of Mr. Saw heard was definitely the clock. A fact which is clear if you simply, and now you can see it takes damage. Examine the clock's batteries, ask the neighbors, or try sounding the clock. Who cares about the batteries? The neighbors have nothing to do with this, so try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. Beep. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. Ah! Yeah, he understands. As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one. You forgot one thing. Uh-oh, what's he talking about now? While it may seem like the clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's right. How am I going to prove that? Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately. Wow, you showing your bias there, Judge. This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Solid. I came all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. Ugh, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Oh, the end. You failed. Not so fast, Mr. Sawit. Mia, I mean Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes, I can! Wait, maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, Wright. Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words! Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. It's the only thing that really hasn't entered the thing. It's not my attorney's badge. And it's the fact of... she was in Paris. So, it's one of those, I think it's called Chekhov's gun, where it's like, there wouldn't be something in this if it wasn't important at some point. You don't write a book and explain a gun on a counter if the gun is not going to go off in that scene or go off later or has gone off already. Something about that gun has to happen, or else what's the point of having it? And just like that, what was the point of having it be in Paris if it didn't enter into anything? And the time difference between, I think this is LA, is where this game is set in the American version. In Paris, I believe, is 3 hours. I think. Wait, no, is it? Yeah, maybe, I don't know, I don't freaking know. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris, is 9, sorry, that makes way more sense. I'm about to say, I'm like, it's like 4 hours from me, and I'm Atlantic Canada, so... When it's 4 p.m. there, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. And the fun thing is, I think, because a game was originally set in Japan, in the Japanese version, I think it's they set it up the same thing, where it's like Paris and Japan might have a 9-hour difference as well. I'm not sure on that. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sawit? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Phoenix, you're so funny. Oh, and he's contracted rabies. Who let that dog in here? Well, Frank Sawit's dead, so... Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness, he was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. I'm not getting paid today. Time to go pick up some ramen noodles. Very well, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I have ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. And find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. Yay, confetti. And with that, this court is adjourned. Yay, we did it! Our first win! We're amazing. It turns out that Frank Sawit was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day... Jeez, you look like you have a limp there, Larry, jeez. When Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawit let himself to do his dirty work. She has, like... Her hair is so weird. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sawit grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find and clonked her on the face. August 3rd, blah, blah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm tired. That was a long case. No, I'm just joking. Phew, I still can't believe we won. Right. Good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over! Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no. I mean, bad. Bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Wendy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Ever the womanizer, Larry? Oh no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Hey, here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You? You made this? Actually, that's really good. Considering Larry is not the brightest guy in the world, making a clock? That's pretty good. Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. You're very serious now, Butts. Yo, Nick, can you believe it? I was so into that chick. and she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you want to just cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right, Wright? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? So, I like at the end of most, I don't know if it's all cases, most cases, you can present something to kind of give yourself a slightly, not a better ending, but like a nice satisfying note to leave off on. And it was the statue. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Should probably pay you though, Phoenix. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. The game, it's kind of weird that the game doesn't really do much for pressing on... I guess it's something they do in the second case, but pressing was really not important in this part of the game. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. Oh, Phoenix! You've impressed your boss. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah! Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him? Yeah, part, at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? Ooh, she's impressed with your lawyering, Phoenix. And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us, unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. There we go, the end. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This was the first case of the first game of the Phoenix Wright series. There are a lot of games in it. And again, if this is your first time watching a Phoenix Wright Let's Play on my channel, I've already completed the entirety of the first game. That is 5 cases, 4 not including this one, 5 including this one. So if you did enjoy this, keep watching. There's a lot. This is a long, long game, and as of right now is the longest game I've ever played on the channel. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I'm PhilInTheBlanks. I'll see you guys next level. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this episode, click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to know when the next episode is up. If you want to support my channel, share some videos with some friends and consider supporting me on Patreon.